So now we are going to see about how to make better decisions. So as we saw, decision making is a bigger part of life, and decision making, how it contributes to an organization, and how decision making affects a personal person, and how it contributes to that is how much the decision making skill is very important, we have seen. And here we want to see about how to make better decisions, and how to make, that is how to know that you have made the right choice. So a good place to start is our interaction, and how good your decision making is. So we want to interact, that is, we first of all we want to interact, and what we are going to decide is there are some certain models that describes that decision making, that is how to make decision. We have framed some models. So, seeing about the models, that helps a person to check out or to do an analysis about how you can make a best decision, because these model really helps a lot to take a best decision. So the very first model I would like to discuss here is the Viru-Meton decision model. So there are lots of different ways of making a decision, but choosing your approach can be just as difficult as making the decision itself. So this model is to decide how to decide. That is the thing. So there are certain decision styles that are available in Viru-Meton decision model, and we are going to see it out. So which is the best one? So which is that we need? So sometimes you have to take charge and decide what to do on your own, but you don't want to appear autocratic to your team, particularly in situations where you need their input. At other times, it's better to make a decision based on the group consensus, but this cannot use up precious time and resources. So, how would you decide which approach is best? Whether so presenting autocratic is best, or whether making yourself absent and may allow the group member to do it. So what it work? How will you decide which approach is best? So for those kind of critical situations, you can use the some models where that helps you to take up the good decision making skills. And so the Viru-Meton model is designed to help you to identify the best decision making approach and the leadership style to take based on your current situation. It was originally developed by Victor Virum and Philip Meton, and this leadership was in the book 1973. So what is this is, no single decision making process fits every scenario. So for every scenario there can be a different decisions, and we can follow different process that takes up a different decision that offers a very best decision. So we should not stick to any one decision making process that really creates a great impact. So for that, this Viru-Meton offers a number of different process, and that directs you towards the best one for your situation. Here we can quote an example. If speed and decisiveness are required, then it will likely point you toward an autocratic process. So if collaboration is what is needed, then it will nudge you toward a democratic process. So there are two kinds of situations arises, like autocratic and democratic. Sometimes the autocratic process works, and sometimes the democratic work process works. So researchers have found that the managers are more effective and their teams are more productive and satisfied when they follow this model. So the simplicity of Viru-Meton also means that anyone from the boardroom to the factory floor can use it. So everyone is equal here. Although a long line while winded at sometimes, it can be particularly helpful in new or unusual situations. So practicing it, using it, so that you will quickly get a feel for the right approach to take. Whether you are making a decision about a day-to-day issue or dealing with a most common problem, so this kind of thing, this model will help you a lot. So before starting with the model, you need to consider some factors that are associated with this model. First one is decision quality. So what is your decision quality? Sometimes making the right decision is critical, and you will need to use a large number of resources to ensure that the action you have taken has been well, or it is thorough, and it is of the high quality. It is based on the situations. So decision quality is very much important. And team commitment, some of your decisions will have a major impact on your team while others will go unnoticed. So when a decision will likely impact your team, it is best to use a collaborative process, and this will improve quality of the decision, and you will likely deliver as a result faster. And also there is another factor we should consider, that is the time constraint. So when you have more time, we can we can process, we can try more number of processes, and you can go for the more number of decision makings. But when you do not have time, actually definitely practicing more processes and finding the best solutions and having so much of decisions will not work. So it is a factor that we should consider very effectively. So when the issue is at hand and it's not time sensitive, and you have more space to research and options and to conclude, and which will help the boost, we can use this model to improve the quality of our decision. But if your time is limited, however, it may not be feasible to include others to undertake the research. And this is the framework of the V-room decision making model. So this is this V-room Yeton model is a situational leadership theory, and it is argues that the best style of leadership and to the situation. Here you can have five types of decision making skills. One is A1. A1 is autocratic type 1. Next one is A2, that is autocratic type 2. And C1 is consultative type 1, and C2 is consultative type 2, and G is group based type. So how does this model work means? So this model process suggests being autocratic or seeking advice, considering alternative approaches before a decision is made, or briefing a group of an issue and allowing that group to develop the solution without forcing your own ideas are all important at times. So it is like a tree based structure. It is like constructing a tree, and that will help you to choose yes or no. So there are some drawbacks in VROOM Yeton model too, like on that is this model can also provide a process for leaders to experience the decision making process as an objective. On the other hand, the disadvantages of the model includes the automation of the process and lack of considering personal factors for the year. And this and some of the models also, the models like rational model, bounded rationality model, intuitive model, we can use that also in this kind of, that is Virum Yeton decision model. And there are some tools that are available, that in the tools available in making a thing, like how we can make the best decision and everything. So we will discuss about the tools in the upcoming session. And we can say as an example, what is an example, that is how we can take it as an example is, we can take up a situation where which is more important. For example, if you are a marketing manager, so you have two decisions, whether you are going to increase the sale, that is whether you are going to increase the number of sale products, or you want to increase the revenue of the product, because say selling more amount of products will not generate more amount of revenue. Sometimes to increase the sales point, we will cut off some prices, but if you want to generate more revenue, we can generate more revenue with a small number of sale points. So these kind of things, making up, that is taking up some decisions in these kind of situations, will go to the VROM Yeton model. And this VROM Yeton model is a thing where you can apply your good leadership also, because it forms a very great leadership. And this VROOM Yeton model has a framework. What does the framework means? The framework, it possesses 7 yes or no questions, and which you need to answer to find the best decision making process for your situations. As you answer each of the questions, You work your way through a decision tree until you arrive at a code. This is the hierarchy: A1, A2, C1, C2 and G2. A1 is autocratic, A denotes autocratic, and C denotes collaborative, and G denotes group. So this code identifies the best decision making process for you and your team. So in scenarios you want to answer all of your questions. Let's see what is the thing. So this is the model, and we are starting the model with that y node, and that is yes and y. So first one is the quality of the decision is important. We are saying is the quality of decision is important. So there you go for yes and no. That is on the top. So blue color yes and blue color no. So this one is yes and this one is no. If you go for yes, that is if the quality of the decision is important, then someone says if it is yes, then we are going for the next one. So what they are saying is the team commitment to the decision is important. So here if somebody says no, the quality of the decision is not important, then you go for here. Then you can go here is the team commitment to the decision is important. If you say that the team commitment is important, then you go for the yes tree. If you say no, then you go for the no tree. Then we are coming to the third question. Do you have enough information to make the decision on yourself? So if you have enough information to make the decision by yourself, then it comes into the autocratic. Autocratic means a single person will decide everything and he will finish it. But if you do not have enough information to make up a decision, so then you go for the collaborative option. Collaborative option means, so if you say that is no, then you go for the third question if the problem is well structured. So if it is well structured, then you can go for the next autocratic solution and you can go for the collaborative solution. If the problem is not well structured, directly you can go for the collaboration, so that you can end up the problem with some good decisions. Otherwise, if the problem is well structured, even the individual can handle the problem in a very effective way, so that it goes for the second autocratic level before going to the collaborative level. And next one, if you made the decision yourself, would the team support? If the team supports your decision, then you can, again you are going for the autocratic level, you are not going to the collaborative level. But if your team is not supporting your decision, then you should go for the group discussion and the collaborative level. Otherwise, if your team supports your decision, even if you say yes, you can go for a collaborative and autocratic. Otherwise, you can finish it up with the autocratic level. Otherwise, you can go for the group discussion and collaborations. So this is like a set of questions. So not only for this problem, you can create these kind of questions for any problem you like, or any kind of problems you would like to discuss, or you would like to dissolve it. So this model builds a decision tree. That means it explores all the factors to find a best or optimum solution. It is not only a single factor, whether the team support, or whether the problem is well structured, or whether it shares the organization goal, or whether the quality is important. For all the questions, we are finding the answers, and we have solutions for all the questions with the alternative. That is what we need to find out here. See, we have solution, the best solution and the alternate solution, the yes and no. Even for the yes, we have an alternate solution. So these kind of alternate solutions, and these kind of viewing that problem from the same type. So there you can go for a different kinds of approach. There you can go for a different kind of thing that brings out the best possible solutions. And here there are, what are all the 5 decision making process in V-root model is. So one is autocratic one. So autocratic means an individual. So you use the information. The individual person will use the information that you are already have, and you can make the decision. And you don't want to have any consultation with your group, or don't want to collect any other information regarding the same problem from other team. So you have enough information, and you find that you are strong, that you are strongly known the information, and you can directly go for the um, decision making. So it requires nothing like any further input from the team. And the second one is autocratic too. So here what you can do is, of course you are going to make the decision, but you can have a very small consultations. You can consult with your team members about, you can collect their opinions. That's all. You are not giving authority to them to make decisions. Just you are collecting their opinions, or you are collecting the specific information from the people, and then you can make the final decision. And you can be consultative. Consultative means the consultant stage. You inform your team of the situation and ask for member opinions individually, but you don't bring the group together for a discussion. You make the final decision, but what you're doing is you are consulting a group of members, and you are collecting the opinions, and you are bringing the opinions and together, and you are discussing over the opinions, and you make a decision. This is called the consultative stage. And the consultative stage 2 is you work with your team to reach a group consensus, because but that is you are waiting for the group members ideas, and you are waiting for the group members roles, and you are waiting for the group members objectives and their conflicts, where you can put up together to give the best solution. So your role is mostly facilitative, and you help team members to reach a decision that they all agree on. And this is the thing, consultative stage 2. So you get your team together for a group discussion about the issue and to seek their suggestions, but you still make the final decision by yourself. So this is like planning an event, or just conducting some formal meetings about what is the upcoming schedule, or just collecting some formal meetings regarding to registering the opinions, or just conducting any event just to please the boss or anything. So these like of consultative decision making will happen in organizations. And the next one is the group. The group one is you are consulting with a group, and you are taking a decision based on the group members opinion. So this is what called collaborative style. That is, you need information from others to solve a problem, and the problem that cannot be easily defined because we are not really known about that problem. So we need a group's help to do that. And the team members, the team members, what they do is their team members, when you feel the team members decision is also important, and important thing is you have enough time to solve it, because you have more time, and you see you are expecting more productive, and you are expecting the best optimal solutions, and you are expecting the best alternatives. In those cases you can go for the collaborative style, where you can where the time available to manage a group decision is more, and you can make up. And the autocratic style is also important, where you can do is you have a very less time, and you have all the informations, and you are confident about your acting alone, and you are strong enough says that your team will accept your decision. There you can go for the autocratic style. So the V-room Yaton decision model, what are all the assumptions we have in V-room Yaton decision model is that there is no single leadership style or decision making process fits all the solutions. We need to go for the different decision making process to bring out the best solution. And also, to find the process best suited to your situation, you need to consider a number of factors. These includes time, constraints, and the team level of participation required, and the quality of the final decision also. So the model walks you. This is when you work on these factors logically to help you to identify the process, and it's particularly used for managers and leaders to who are trying to bring out the best benefits of the participative management, and also who are trying to prove themselves as a best decision makers. So these are all the points we want to know about the V-room Yaton decision model making. And there is another model making called Kepner-Tregoe Matrix. So Kepner-Tregoe Matrix. So this comes into a case where there are a complex situation, or where there are a certain stage where an important decisions ought to be taken, and where you are not known about where it comes from, and how it is arising often. So these like of in these kind of things we will go for the this Kepner-Tregoe Matrix decision model. So what is this Kepner-Tregoe decision model is? It is a tool first. It is a tool that are used in organization for decision making. Where we do use is, so we do use here on risk assessments and some risky prioritizations, because prioritizing the factors and prioritizing the works is really a great deal. It will not be done in a very small way, and it will not be done in a very small normal way. So it needs some tool to achieve this. For this we are using the Kepner-Tregoe matrix, and it aims to achieve a course of actions or outcome with least negative consequences. That is what the motto of this. That is, we are reducing the conflictions, or we are reducing the outcomes with the least negative conflictions. So what are all the steps means? First thing is, there are some 8 major steps in Kepner-Tregoe matrix, and that we will see in the thing. And what are all the key outputs? What is its benefit is? So first one is a situational analysis, because it clarifies the situation. And thing is problem analysis. We can easily analyze the problem. And another thing is, we can have a very solution analysis. Solution analysis means we can work on the solutions. So it is a tool to evaluate and select the best option between the choices. It's like we are using this type in artificial intelligence also. So that is a trend in technological field. So there here we have best options between the choices. You have some choices, and you have the weightage of the choices also, and there you can easily create a decision making matrix, and that helps you to create a very best solution for the solution, like you can work up in a organization. So no matter what position you hold, from boardroom or the mailroom, you make decisions every day. This is what the scenario, and the end result is business, that is directly linked to the quality of the decisions made at each point along the way. So decision making is a universal skill for all the persons, that is like for all the persons, human beings, the animals, the plants, and anything. So decision making is a universal skill. So some decisions clearly have an impact on the business than others, but the underlying skill is the same. So the difference in the scope and depth of the process you go through to reach your decisions. So one reason why decision making can be so problematic is that most critical decisions tend to have made in least amount of time. So you feel very pressured, you feel very anxious, and the time pressure means then you will start to taking shortcuts and jumping to conscious and conclusions, or really you are relying on heavily or instant guide your way, and so much of interpretations. So these kind of things will what it will do means, it will create so much of pressure on yourself, and there sometimes the decision making fails. So what happen if you take a poor decision? So probably we heard of some time that some the persons, the very important persons who are relying on his or her gut to make decisions. At the other extreme, there is a guy who simply can't make a decision because he analyzes the situation to death. So the bottom line is, you have to make decisions, and you have to make good decisions. So the poor decisions are bad for a business. One poor business or one poor decision will destroy the business. So it is better not to make a decisions than making a poor decision, because the poor decision will destroy the business. So for that we are approaching some models to construct the best decisions that builds up the organization as well as the business. One of that is that we have discussed Kepner-Tregoe approach. So it is based on the premise that the end goal of any decision is to make the best possible choice. And other word we can say it is a model that to eliminate the negative conflicts, or it is a model that we can completely eliminate the negative effects of the business. So this is a critical distinction. The goal is not to make the perfect choice or the choice that has no effects. So the decision maker must accept some risk here, because it is a it because already we saw we are not going for the best choice, we are going for removing the negative conflictions. So sometimes we can take up the choice that has no effects, but sometimes we would go for the choices that has a greater effect. So the decision make acceptor, that is the decision maker, must be a risk acceptor, or he or she is the person to accept the challenges and work on it. And also it has an important future. What is that? Is it is to help evaluate and mitigate the risk of your decisions. So what does it give? What is the use of this Kepner-Tregoe approaches? It is based on the premise, and also it is based on the critical distinction. And this type of detailed problem and risk analysis that helps you to make an unbiased decision. That is, unbiased decision means a decision which has no direction. It has a no proper direction. So by skipping this analysis on relying on gut instinct, your evaluation will be influenced by your preconceived beliefs and prior experience. It's simply a human nature. So to avoid those kind of situations, we are working on these such models that helps you to take up a best decision. So here a decision statement. So what is the decision statement here? So before going into the steps of that decision making, so a decision statement is one we need to have some idea, or we need to discuss about some factors that is affecting the decision making. So a decision statement, first a decision statement, it should focus on the problem, and it should set the limit of the choices. We should focus, that is, we should very clear about the problem, and we should be very clear about the limit of our choices. And it capture objectives in a way that it invites multiple approaches, because we need more kind of objectives so that we can take the best level. And it indicates the level at which the decision is to be made. And for example, you consider a problem statement because the user finds the payment process of ABC e-commerce site to be tedious and time consuming, resulting in decrease of customers. So since it is tedious and it's a time consuming, he started to lose his consumers. So the ultimate solution, he tried to bring out the ultimate solution, is to reduce the payment processing time and make it simple. So this will be our decision statement. So we line up our approaches and weigh them against each other to decide which approach will be the best to satisfy the decision statement. So here when you go for the matrix, so 1 to shortlist the alternate or take them to the finally. 2 is to pick the best. To begin with it, so we want to define a list of must and want. That is, what is must in taking the decision and what is really needed in taking the decision. Must is must. Objectives are mandatory. Definitely we need the objectives. So they must be achieved to guarantee a successful decision. And it is a measurable objective, that is the payment process must be quicker by 20%. And what is one? All other objectives also, not only we cannot stick to a single objective, we need all other objectives also. And a want objective may be mandatory or it cannot be classified or must. And for example, we can have a enhanced user interface system. So here the must is the payment process must be quicker, it should consume less time. And what is wanted is a very best user interface design, so that also makes the person to use the system again and again, even if it consumes a very great time. Because when you have a very good user interface systems, the people find easy to work with it, so they will easily stick to the website and they will go on with the website. So the Kepner-Tregoe is the best suited for situations where there are multiple valid approaches to solve a problem, and the solution involves objectives that cannot be weighed in a direct decision making framework like pros and cons. So this comes in a situation where you are stumbles upon, and there can be you can have same equal weightage of the objectives, and you find very difficult to take up a decision. So, what are all the four basic steps we can have in this model? Is one is situational appraisal, that is, identify concerns and outline the priorities. And another one is problem analysis, like describe the exact problem or issue by identifying or evaluating the cases. And decision analysis, as we have discussed, it I identify and evaluate alternatives by performing a risk analysis for each and then make a final decision. And potential problem analysis, like it is to evaluate the final decision for risk and identify the contingencies and preventive actions necessary to minimize the risk. So how can we use this tool? So this is a tool and as an in-depth approach that can be supported by detailed instructions and worksheets. So as an overview of the approach, the following steps shows that the general principles of how approach can be applied to a decision making situation. So this Kepner-Tregoe Matrix is an in-depth approach that we should note here. So that is supported by the instructions and worksheets. So as an overview, we can see the following step shows that the general principles approach you can use, and you can use in a Tregoe Matrix approach is where you are stumbled in a situation, or where you are about to go for a thing that enhances the organization growth, or where you want to go up with the thing that actually removes the negative conflicts. So that is what the this kind of approach will help in growth of an organization. So I just want to conclude with the thing what we have seen as of now. So we have seen something about the decision making, and what is the decision making. It is a process of making choices by identifying a decision, gathering or information, and accessing the alternative solutions. And these are all the 7 steps in making a effective decision. That is, first of all, you should identify the decision, you should collect the information, you should go for some alternatives, and you want to weigh the evidences, and you want to choose the alternatives, then take action. After you've done everything, make a review and do. And these are all some basic questions you can access yourself, then you can ask yourself before taking a decision. And this rationality, bounded rationality, intuitive and creative models. So rationality is a model where you can have so much of options and rational choices, and it comes with the risk of choices, and it comes, that is what is the use of it is to maximize the outcome. And bounded rationality is the one where you are not willing to spend much of time, and just when you are satisfying some people. The intuitive means it is a sixth sense decision making. So if your sense says that it is good, then you will go for it. And creative means creating new solutions and trying new ways to build the best decision. And this is the step where you can go with the rational decision making model, and it helps you to take good enough decisions and intuitive decisions. And we saw how to take intuitive decisions, and it is a fact that 59% of the managers, that is 59% of the decisions are intuitive, they are not up to that this level. And we see that managers are taking intuitive decisions because of the time constraint and the work pressure. And this is what called creative decision making. The creative decision making involves these 5 steps of process. And when you go for a creative, what you want to do is you want to avoid the group thinking, and you want to avoid the common thinking. And the dimensions of the creative are, you want to see the problem in you want to identify the fluency of the problem, and you want to be flexible, and you want to maintain the originality that creates the creativity. And how you can take a creative decision means diverse your team, do not make them work together, and change the group members always, and form a leaderless team, and engage in brainstorming activities, and give the unique activities to the people, and use the monopoly, that is monopoly analogies, to identify a problem and give challenges to the team, and make the team more creative, and avoid the corporate creation, that is creative behavior, make incorporate behavior, and build a physical space where the people can enjoy and share the thoughts easily. And these are all the exercises that helps you to bring a very good decision in an organization. So how we can go for making better decisions means, we can build some models. The one is B room Yeton decision model. B room Yeton decision model is to making a decision, and we are creating a tree, decision tree, like yes or no tree, where you can ask a certain set of questions, and you can build a tree using yes or no, and you can go for the yes solutions and no solutions, and you can take up the best solutions. And here are the five models, like autocratic and one, autocratic two, and consultative one, and collaborative and consultative two, and also a group model also. So there are some situations that arises where autocratic model is important, and there are some situations arises where collaborative model is important. This Kepner-Tregoe matrix is like this is a place where you can go for an unbiased decision. Here you can go for the matrix solution, that is you have so much of choices, and you can go and you can decide any one of the choice from the best thing. So I conclude with this point, like so decision making is a thing which is a very great skill, and it is a very essential skill that we can go in an organization as well as we can go in a personal life too. So decision making is a skill, and sometimes it can be a natural skill, because the decision making comes with the nature, and sometimes we need to practice ourselves with the some skills, like focusing on the problem, so taking some time to identify the problem, or taking some time to evaluate the problem. So these kind of practices also that makes us to be a best decision maker, because choices of the life is full of choices. So we need to take up the choices, and we need to make up a decision what we can do and what we can't do, because the negative consequences as well as the positive consequences forms the equal part of our life. So in that cases, the decision making will play a very vital role in an organization to build up the growth of an organization. So as a leader, as a team manager, as an employee, so you would be trapped in a situation where you need to make up the best decisions always. So by applying these kind of models, by applying these kind of strategies, by applying these kind of frameworks, definitely we can also be a best decision maker. Thank you all.